Hey, everybody. Welcome to Melman Podcast. My name is Zach Marzo.
David Melman.
David's here. As you can tell, it's just the two of us today, a little bit unconventional. Normally, we have guests on. We want to share local businesses, anybody who either works for someone or starts their own business, anybody that has something positive to share in regards to business, lifestyle, growing, just positive vibes is what we're all about. But what we wanted to do today was do a little question and answer with David and myself, business related questions that, many people ask or have asked in the past, and just wanted to give a little bit more information in regards to some of these topics that, we think that you guys would find helpful. So wanted to jump right into that. And, before we get started, a lot of times, people will offer advice. And, your question is, well, who are they? What do they do? Should I listen to them? Because there's a lot of people that, maybe give good advice, but haven't really maybe been there themselves, and not to say that somebody that's just been there is the only person that has good advice, but it's always nice to talk to somebody that has the experience and has kind of been there, done that. And although Melman Law Group is 4.5 years in now, correct me if I'm wrong, with 4.5 years in, I've been with Melman Law Group for 2, September 17th, 2 years with Melman Law Group, very fast.
Oh, wow.
But, just what I've seen in the last 2 years with growth has been, incredible, and I've learned a lot, especially sharing an office with David. We're nonstop, and it's just pretty cool to be a part of the growth we're having, and just we're just getting started, so to speak. So I wanted David just kind of share, a little bit more about him, and a little bit more about his business with his wife, Marina Melman, who founded the firm, just to give you a little context before we jump into some of these questions.
Sure. Thanks, Zach. Marina Melman, the founder of the firm, I pretty much run the operations there, the day-to-day, I call them burning out fires, whether it's that or, negotiating or whatever needs to get done, I try to get done. Making sure the team's good, they have everything they need, making sure that they have every tool they need to be successful and to be able to do their job at the highest level they can do it. But yeah, my background, I guess, born in Russia, we came here with not much to our name, struggled in the beginning. I come from that background, seeing, people have things that you don't have and wanting those things, but knowing that you have to work for them as well to get them. So that's, where my hunger might have came from. Fast forward years and years down the road, customer service background with whether it was bartending, serving, to the sales background where I was doing, international religious group travel sales for a couple of years, kind of taught me both sides to sell, but also, you always have to have that level of customer service in business, making sure the client is happy, making sure the team is good and the morale is up. You want to make sure you kind of can control your environment in a way where it's going to keep going forward. It's only going to, excel, and you try to eliminate headaches. And when the headaches do come up, you have to be able to, get rid of them, I guess, as fast as possible, but also in a way where the person that is causing the headache or the issue, they're happy too. In every business, there's going to be an issue, whether it's something with the employees or something with the clients or with anybody, or people you work with. So you got to be able to manage those issues and pretty much, get rid of them. Like, that's it.
Sure.
Get rid of them and make sure they don't come up again, or you have a solution to how you fix it so it doesn't come up again in a way where everybody wins. You don't have to take the whole deal every time. I'm a big believer of that. Spread the wealth, make sure everyone's happy, and then we continue to the next thing. I only want to manage as much as I can take on. I don't want to overextend myself or the team and lower the quality level, because once the quality level is lowered, I think the initial vision can disappear. You do have to adjust the way you conduct business, in different tiers and different levels at where you're at. But I think the customer service and the quality can't go down. And then when that does go down, it's sad. And a lot of businesses, it goes down, when they grow too fast or they expect way too much out of employees and they're balancing 17 things and they're working, 14 hours a day. So you have to be able to manage a team, know what they can handle, and also make sure your clients are always getting the best service possible. So that's what I did. I make sure I come into work every day that everybody has what they need, whether it's a team, the clients, and I burn out fires when they exist. That's what I like to do.
Sure. And, me, myself, obviously, I'm not a business owner, but I feel like since I've had a job, I've recognized, and David and I agree with this, and this is what the firm is based around, is just customer service and relationships. Every job I've ever had, it's really more about how you portray yourself. And if it's, genuine, obviously, there's no time to be phony because that comes out eventually. But the more you can connect with somebody, the better service you can provide, the better off you will be. And it's been like that in every job that I've ever had, just relating to people, providing customer service. The best brands in the world provide the best service. Apple doesn't discount their products. Certain Nordstrom, when it comes to certain products there, those brands and items and things they sell typically tend to be more expensive. But at the end of the day, you continue to go back because the quality and the service, is there. And, the first, real question that I wanted to dive in and ask David was what his opinion on his recipe for success in business is. Not the recipe like there's just one cookie cutter approach, but, what do you think is that key ingredient to becoming successful or just having success in a small business?
Yeah, great question. You got to ask yourself first, are you in it for the long run or are you in it for a short, quick score? We're in it for the long run. Integrity is huge, transparency, honesty, and anything we do every day. If you're in it for the short term, for the quick score, you might not say those three things. You want to do, quick, let's get it going, maximize on what you can at the moment, and then it goes away. So we got to be very caring to our clients, to our team, and making sure it's a great environment. You want to walk into work in a good environment where, I get nobody wants to go to work. Like, I understand that. If you had a choice of going to work or being on the beach, you would be on the beach. But, you got to walk into an environment where it's a good environment. People want to be there. The team members are supporting themselves. They know they're doing good, honest work. They're not doing shady shit, where, they're wondering what they're doing. Is it right? Is it wrong? They give the clients the honest answer. The people that we work with, we give them the honest answer, the honest payback. And we just try to do good work every single day. And if it means that we have to overextend ourselves with, whatever it may be, reductions or do things that we just don't want to do, but if it makes sense for the overall picture, we do it. Because the only thing that matters is the overall picture, and that's more important to me than one transaction and a one-time thing. We look at the overall picture a lot in everything we do, and I ask myself, if I do it this way now, can it help the long run? You always got to think ahead. What you do today really will affect 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. We've had great experiences with people we work with that have opened up doors for us because of the way we work with them. So you never know who you're going to meet in any business. And I would say transparency and care and do it the right way. Build the foundation strong. It's not a race. To who can get on to the top right away. Build it strong, nice and steady. Attack hard when the moments are there. When the moments are not there, float, ride it, and then attack hard. That's what I think.
Yeah, for sure. And with that, obviously the recipe, like you're talking, integrity, trust, transparency, all kind of, falls underneath the customer service kind of umbrella, right? If you're providing good customer service, you're being honest, you're being fair, you're acting with integrity, basically saying, hey, if you're going to walk away with, more compensation than anybody here, any medical provider, attorney, it's following through with that. And doctors, if you say, hey, I'm not going to screw you guys over, you have my word, trust in it, follow our flow here and, the way that we do things, and you follow through, it's on a consistent basis, it works. So it is huge because not many people do what they say they're going to do. And if you can just keep your word, and we're not promising, the stars here, but at the end of the day, being realistic and just following through on your word. If you say you're going to call somebody, call them. If you say you're going to get back to somebody, get back to them. Like, this isn't complicated stuff, but along with, what the recipe for success is. Obviously, you have to have a good team behind any, good boss or good leadership. And so I think, a good question, two questions in one is how you find qualified team members to join the team. And with that, what makes up a good employee or a good team member? We don't even like to, call everybody that works at Melman Law Group, an employee or support staff. We're all one team, right? Everybody has their own role. So, how do you find, we've known each other for quite some time. So the trust is there, and the experience of just knowing each other is there. But other people that are just new, what do you look for in somebody, and how do you find them?
My approach might be different than anybody else's. Mm-hmm. People leverage Indeed, LinkedIn, and I've used the platforms, whatever it may be. My first hire, it was a blind hire, blind interview process. We didn't know their background or anything like that. And that was that, and it worked out great. That person's still here. Moving forward, I just like a sense that I want to be comfortable with them, meaning I have to have somehow interacted with them in the past. I know that might be picky, but the team members that I have at the team now are pretty much the majority of them. I've interacted with them somehow. I sense the talent, and then when opportunity strikes, I can bring them on. And that's typically how it worked out for almost everybody in the office. They know somebody. Either I've interacted with them, 90% of them, or the 10% that I haven't. They've interacted with somebody that I've known, and they vouch for them. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to hire blindly. We have a practice firm with under 11 employees, so it's not like we have 50, 60, 100 employees. When you get to that kind of level, it's going to be hard to keep hiring people that you know. Mm-hmm. Almost impossible, I think. Sure. So you have to open up the doors more, maybe trust more, and but for now, I'm going to do it this way because we're here now. Mm-hmm. Come time or you fast forward and might have 15, 20 employees, maybe I can still keep the same strategy. But that works for me. Doesn't work for everybody. I don't hire my friends typically or anything like that. But I've worked with Zach years ago, and I saw the work hustle, and I saw the dedication to what he was doing, whether it was asking for a refill of something or, selling something. Whatever it was, he cared, even if it wasn't his own.
Sure.
And I sense that. So, I hire, I have to know you. That's how I do it. I somehow know you, whether it's me personally or somebody else. And then at that point, I trust my judgment. The resumes play a factor, honestly, a small factor. I'll look at the piece of paper. Piece of paper tells me only so much. I want to see you. I want to feel who you are, your energy. Your history, how long have you been somewhere? Do you jump around? That's not a good thing for me. But, and then the second question pretty much was...
Well, let me jump in. Yeah. You say, there's a lot of things you look at that maybe a typical employer may not look at, like, how much family's at home. That depends. If you have to support a family of 6 and you're hiring a position for $8 an hour, that person might not last long because they're not going to be able to provide. How far away do they live? How long is their commute? What do they like? What do they not like? Breaking it down to such a minute level, to that, atom level, so to speak, is what, David kind of, talks about, which is important because there's certain things you don't really think about. It's like, hey, are they qualified to do the job? Then let's bring them on. But not, if are they primarily responsible for are they a single mother? Are they a single father? Now there's going to be more appointments to be had, more time off of work, more stress. And all of these factors go into not finding the right person for Melman Law Group, but finding the right home for that person as well, because you want them to be happy. If they're not happy and you're investing time in them, they're not going to last long. You're just wasting your time, and you're going to have to do it all over again with somebody else.
Correct. They have to be happy.
So, no, but you had answered it. Where do you find qualified people? It's, connections. Valentina, one of the legal assistants we have, she's incredible. She was a connection through a lady that we had trusted, another attorney.
Right.
So it was kind of like a direct connection, similar to how LinkedIn is. It's like a first, second, or third connection.
Sure.
So something there, but then you bring them in person. It's all the more reason for people that are listening, that are looking for a job, that your energy is everything. You call a restaurant and the hostess has a half-ass attitude. It's like, smile. No one's forcing you to work.
Immediately you're out.
Yeah,
like literally
immediately. You know,
And everywhere we go, Zach's with me all day. You know, Wendy, I worked with her for years before at a different practice, and something happened out of anybody's control, and I had the opportunity to have her join. Zach moved from Charlotte. Steven, one of the attorneys, Marina went to school with him. Michael, play poker with the guy, for years. Sienna was the first hire we had, and that was a blind hire, and it worked out great. She does an excellent job and works hard every day. Right. So everybody I kind of know, but everywhere we go, we're actively looking to hire. We can easily hire one or two people, but it's got to be the right person. And I sense it, and I walk in, whether it's a restaurant, a store, and I'm waiting for that great experience to be like, hey, do you want to change your life?
Right. And when looking for somebody, it's like, how quickly do they reply? How prompt are they with their response? What is their energy like? Even in an email, are there exclamation points of you can feel they're enthusiastic, or do they call? Do they follow up? Do they call back after the interview? Do they send you an email? Thank you for your time. All these little things, they go a long way, that you don't necessarily get taught in school, but it's just kind of the type of person that they are. But let's say that you find that awesome employee, they join a part of their team, and a large part of continuing growth is retaining employees and incentivizing them to stay on the team. And me personally, most of the time people are incentivized by money, but a lot of times it's other things. Is it are you incentivized by continuing to stay at work because there's not too much stress there? You're making enough money where you're not stressing about paying your bills. Are there benefits at work? Are your employers, creating some sort of, benefits, whether it's time off, vacation time, bonuses? Are we doing events? Are we contributing, giving back to the community? All those things make an employee or a team member feel good about who they're working for. It's why we do, the back to school supply drive. This year was a little bit weird because of COVID, and, some kids are in school, some aren't, it's kind of crazy. And doing, not a toy drive, but kind of, I'm thinking Secret Santa, basically just giving back. When it comes time to the holidays, we did something last fall around Christmas time for just underserved youth, which was incredible. Makes me feel good to be a part of a team that wants to do stuff like that. Like if all of profits and things were going to brand new cars that everybody on the executive level we're driving, and we're not doing anything for the community, it sucks, right? You want to be a part of something different. But I'll let you jump in and answer. What's your take on incentivizing people and how to keep them engaged?
I mean, there's short-term and long-term, incentives we offer at the firm. There's probably 4 or 5 different ways to make extra money. Mm-hmm. If you want to make it, make it. If you don't want to make it, then don't do it, So providing an opportunity to make more, not just handing it over to them like, oh, it's the end of the year, you get a bonus. But if you do X, Y, and Z and bring in some value to the business, you and Marina you're not reluctant to help somebody and show them that, what their work is not going unnoticed. So that's number one, is actually providing those avenues. I mean, work hard. Each department, whether it's pre-litigation or litigation, has goals to hit every single month. We also have an overall goal for the whole year for the team. And, it just, the goals are there, whether it's the monthly things, the other little things that randomly come up, the yearly thing, they're there. It's just a matter of how hungry are you to do it. I have some people that are really hungry and they try really hard to do it. And I have others that are still hungry, but they're not as hungry as the other person. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. If you're content with what you have, that's it, but we try to keep it short-term, 30-day incentives. We have sometimes weekly some stuff that goes on. Mm-hmm. We have a nice year one we offer. But we got to keep them engaged because, one thing I learned is you cannot expect them to work as hard as you. You can't. Because it's not theirs to that level, and that's not a rude comment. It's just you have to be able to understand that. And somebody once said, how can you expect somebody else to love your kids as much as you love them? You can't. So, consider the business your kid, and how do you expect somebody else to love it as much as you? You can't. And if you expect them to, then I think you already lost mentally, and I feel bad. But if you can understand that and accept that, then you can deal with some of the headaches that come in and the hiccups. But you got to keep them engaged, monthly, bi-weekly, little things with the team, team things are awesome, and then yearly. So we try to do that. We understand it's a job. We're coming to work. We're not coming to play, but there's playtime too. But to create playtime, there has to be work time.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And it's having fun as well. I mean, there's times to have fun. David's birthday was 2 days ago now.
Yeah,
I thought it was actually yesterday. Yeah. And we had a challenge in the office, some fitness challenge, a step challenge, which was really cool because, the people in our office are competitive and, it's always fun to shoot for something. But taking the time out of the day, having cake, celebrating, yes, we're itching to get back to it and get back to the grind, but it's also nice to take a breather for 30 minutes and, do something, have some laughs, and then, get back to it.
For sure.
But not letting it get, out of hand, because we talk about this all the time, but I want you to share, what's the most irritating thing about managing a team, whether it's from managing different personalities, employees, and this doesn't have to be specific to, the firm, but just in general for any employees or someone who works for somebody that's out there.
Yeah.
What to stay away from. Like your boss is probably is recognizing this now and you're kind of clueless.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, love our team. We wouldn't be anywhere where we were if it wasn't for the team we have and the commitment they show every single day. But in general, I guess you can say, negative energy, it seeps. You smell it. It starts spreading. Gossiping. None of that shit. Gossiping, negative energy. People talking behind people's backs, which we don't. We don't deal with that really. There. We joke around. We tease. It's like we're a work family. But when it comes to legit harmful gossiping at a level of just disrespect, it doesn't exist. Sure. And I wouldn't let it happen. And whether it's the strongest employee doing it or the weakest, I wouldn't let it happen. Just because somebody is really, really good at something, or you have a prospect that you can hire that has great numbers on resumes and stuff, you bring that poisonous personality potentially, if they are, into your business, it can be a disaster. You don't have to have the best of the best to have the best team. You can create a culture and they can grow with you, and then you can have the best team. Kind of like the Patriots do it. They don't have the best players every year, but they win. But I think back to your question, you can't have any negative energy on a daily basis. Everyone's life isn't perfect. We understand that. The biggest thing is when you walk into the office, whatever you're dealing with, you got to try to leave it at home, especially if you're dealing with human beings on an hourly 15-minute basis. And especially in our business, our team is dealing with human beings that are not buying a hamburger or buying, something on Amazon. They're hurt. So they're already not in the best scenario. So and we have an amazing team that nurtures them, cares about them, replies to them at 10 o'clock at night via email, text, is there for them, because they know how hard it is for them.
And
so
David doesn't ask, Marina doesn't ask, to, do the extras, right? I mean, sometimes, the boss will come out and straight up say, I need you to do this. If there's a phone call after, do it. And they really don't ask. It's just more of if you're willing to take those extra, duties on, you get rewarded for it. But if you're not going to be willing to do that, then, on the other side of that coin, you're rewarded as well, right? You're rewarded for, the amount of effort and care and work that you put in. There's no handouts. And I think, going into like I always think about like what a prospective employee, what are some values and, what can I try to embody as a prospective employee for anybody that's looking out there for a job, how you can stand out. I think trust is a huge thing, trust, loyalty, and honesty kind of from the beginning, because, if you're working for someone like Marina and David, it's very important, right? If you're lying or cross them or, just are not being honest, it doesn't typically work out. So one, you have to be able to be trustworthy. And if that comes from, hey, if they ask, hey, did you get this done? Yes, I got it done. Or did you make this mistake? Yeah, I made that mistake, but I'm not going to do it again. There's no time for, run around and excuses. And no, I was doing this when you were in the bathroom or when you were on your cell phone or, all this other nonsense.
Right.
Work is work. You got to have a little bit more of the old school mentality that, no one wants to work for anything anymore. And I'm watching Last Chance U on Netflix, which you have to watch. We didn't even talk about that, but it's just like kids that are in junior college trying to get to a Division I program. Their grades are terrible. They're from poor neighborhoods, and the coach is all about, the old school mentality, just thinks that people are too soft these days, that everybody just expects and wants something, and they don't want to work for it.
I think it's soft, and I think it might be greener on the other side.
Yeah.
I see that, with, people, not us, it's just in general, I observe, and we're at a restaurant and you see people complaining, like servers complaining or a table next to us complaining on their lunch break and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And remember, whatever anybody posts on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, it's not the whole picture. Don't be blind to that. Don't be blind to that image and that persona that they show you, or
Someone said that your Instagram page or Facebook is like your greatest hits album.
Sure.
So if like a band had a greatest hits, that's what will be their Facebook page. Like some people will share the negative stuff even though they might not want to, but the reality is it's
rare.
There's a lot more behind the curtains and what you see.
Sure. So. I mean, you walk into a room and you ask everybody how is it going? Everyone's going to say it's going good. Right. Or going well. Half of them can be dealing with the worst case scenario ever, and you're never going to hear how it's going. Mm-hmm. How often has anybody ever answered that question? Like, it's actually really bad. My kid's sick. My husband got laid off. Like, it's bad. Can I talk to you? It doesn't happen. So that question is so pointless. It makes me laugh.
And it doesn't mean it doesn't mean when you're the leader of your team, your superior or whatever says, "Hey, how are you?" that you should just go into a long
story
expose of how things are going. You got to sometimes fake it. When you're going through hard times, whether you're having anxiety or you're stressed, you go to the bathroom, wash your face, and shake it off, because you got to you got to be tough, but. You should also have a relationship with your superior to say, hey, you really want to know what's going on, or you just want to hear what you want to hear.
That could be at a closed door setting, outside of work, before or after. And as an employer, they should care. But if it affects the work, that's not a good thing.
Right.
If it affects the communications with clients and the team members, that's not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So ask for a time to be heard and to, talk to them before work, after work. Doesn't have to be right there. When everything's going to come together, and then your mind shifts to another thing. There's timing for everything.
Yeah.
We used to have request offs come in all during the day. Mm-hmm. People would ask for request off like during the day. I said, dude, before work or after work,
why are you thinking
or
about
during
that
your
right
lunch.
Now? Right.
I'm not paying you to request off and send me an email during the day.
Yeah, that's true.
And because it's a distraction to the client. It's not about the dollar or two I lost, whatever.
Right. And this is not our team. This is everybody I've ever worked with. Of counting the minutes of the day. Counting your lunch break hours. If you want, it's okay to do that, but then don't expect more from your boss or from the company you're working for. If you're not willing to bend over backwards, why are they going to bend over backwards?
Correct.
It's insane. It goes back to that entitlement attitude of like, I'm going to do the least amount and expect the most.
Yeah, and eventually, you can get away with that for a month, 2 months, 3 months. And then a smart employer will catch on, and you're out. Mm-hmm. You can only squeeze by, and hide behind the curtains for so long, unless you're in a huge company and you're hiding and, I don't know, maybe, the senior manager. Right. But you can only get away with it for so long. So if you're going to be there, do the best, Sure. And if for years go by, a year goes by, and 18 months goes by, and nobody recognizes your talent, that you're trying your ass off, and you've had one review in 2 years, and that's it. There is no incentive or anything, and you're not valued.
Yeah,
look.
Yeah, exactly.
Then look, But if you know that you're working for people that care about you daily and your family and the well-being of you, and are flexible with the timings and appointments and family, and moving things around, and rarely the word no comes out, and the only reason they don't say no is because they know you're not going to abuse it, because the word no can come out very easily.
Sure.
But if you have a team that respects you, you're going to respect them. It's mutual. You can't just expect them to respect you only. You have to be able to respect them. They have families. They have kids. Things adjust. They'll make up for it. And in the end of the day, does the job get done? Are their clients happy? Mm-hmm. Everything else will come together. Does the team work well together? That's the crucial thing.
Right. For sure, 100%. I think all these topics are, we could talk about them every day because they're so real and relevant to the space that we're in. But, Melman Podcast is here to not only connect with the community, bring in cool people, talk to them about business, but it's also to kind of share the day-to-day real stuff that happens. I'm no expert. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy working for someone else. I enjoy being a top performer or just being an awesome part of a team that's continuing to grow, and that's why, I'm here. Anybody that's, out there that knows somebody or works for somebody, or you yourself as an entrepreneur, you work for one, or you want to come in and kind of share your story, we're all about the Metro Atlanta area. It doesn't have to be Roswell specifically, but anybody that has good energy and wants to join us, all you have to do is, shoot us a text or shoot us an email, reach out on our Facebook page, Instagram page, you name it, even if it's the Melman Law Group page. But Melman Podcast is obviously, just a separate avenue to connect with the community and connect with, anybody that's willing to listen. And, we're more than happy to take suggestions or even talk about something, that somebody may want to hear. Feel free to reach out. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. A couple questions we just wanted to answer. Daily operations, things that come up, teamwork, the team itself, the job, in any job, not just this specific job. A lot of things go into somebody that's kind of in charge, you can say, or whatever it is, leader, that you don't see, like the 14 or 20 other things that aren't seen, that are on their mind while you're asking them a question that makes no sense. Or, it just, you got to understand your surroundings and who you're dealing with as we need to understand them too. I will approach somebody a certain way in my office differently than I would approach a different person, depending on how they react to certain things and how they are. Everyone has a different style, so understand the style you're in and who you're around.